Okay, welcome to BLT Living. How are you, Christy? How are you living your best life today?
Hey, Jerry. It's so happy to see you on this wonderful Friday today, July 14th, 2023. I can't believe we're already in July. I'm just waiting for those Christmas sales in July. No, I'm teasing. I just bought a bunch of things on Amazon Prime. They had Prime Day the other day. So that was living my best life and just kind of buying things ahead of time for the holidays, getting ready to go on a trip next month. So I had to buy a few things for us and for
For
the
the
kids.
holidays, as in like December holidays, like
Yes,
you're
can you
thinking
believe
that
that?
6 months ahead. Wow, okay.
Well,
Wow.
somebody told me about this Amazon Prime Day, and we're Prime
Okay.
members. And so, what I think you pay like $100 or something like that every year, and then you can watch Amazon Prime movies and TV shows and anything that they create for their Amazon, I guess, studio. And then you
Right.
can purchase things, like movies, and keep it in a repository of movies and TV shows and whatnot, and keep it forever. So sometimes we go back and watch those, and we've been doing that for years. But at Christmas time you can get usually free shipping for your, I'm doing an Amazon plug, I don't mean to, but you
Oh,
get
we all
free
love
shipping,
Amazon here.
yeah, all over the country. So it makes it easier. We have family and friends all over the country. So if I send something, a present, sometimes I just send it that way and do a gift wrap and a card and things like that. And it goes. So you can, I guess, one of my friends last week told me that there's Amazon Prime Day, and it's kind of like Black Friday before, or the day of after Thanksgiving, or Cyber Monday. So it's that kind of,
Yeah,
discounted
no, I totally.
advertising.
That's
And
incredible. No, and you know what that I think I've actually heard of that one, and but I realized I saw an email and I didn't open it. But sometimes I feel like I'd open up an email, I have to buy the stuff, like so.
right.
But you gotta let go of that, which is actually the name of the episode today. The name of today's episode is letting go, and today's your food accountability challenge. So you are cooking something pretty special for us today. Why don't you tell us what you have in store for us for the meal, Christy?
Well, it's something that we do in my family that is one of what I call our easy meals. And it doesn't take a lot of time. And I'm hoping because the episode's only 30 minutes, I had to raise the temperature a little bit. But I'm going to cook some cod, if you can see that in
Okay.
my bowl. And I'm going to create a little paste of sesame oil and white miso paste. This one's from Wegmans, and it's one of our favorites. And the miso gives it that sort of umami, sort of savory flavor. The
Mm-hmm.
sesame brings the depth to it, and that sort of warm, warm, I don't know. I want to say buttery, but it's not butter because it's sesame oil. So it just gives that wonderful sort of melding, brings all the flavors together. And then I'm just going to use some lemon. I'll put that in the packet. And then a little sea salt, garlic powder, and pepper. And that's it. And then I have some dill. Look at this pretty flour. I just washed it, so it's a little flimsy, but
Okay.
this is flour. Isn't it cute? And then a little bit of the dill from the vine. So I'll put a little bit of that on it. And I'm going to use parchment paper. So I tried to cut it ahead
Ah.
so it looks like a heart, almost like almost without the bottom. But when I
Mm-hmm.
fold it up, it'll look like a heart. So I'm going to make two cod pieces of cod, one for me and one for my daughter for lunch today. And then I just use a baking sheet, a cookie sheet, and that's it.
Okay.
And so not a whole lot of mess, but we have some special ingredients today. We
Do
have
we have a special ingredient? A
Yes.
secret
Well,
ingredient?
there's one in particular from my garden. So these are the Vidalia onions. These are from the market. And I
Right.
did have some tomatoes, but I think the squirrels are getting to them. So I actually bought these from the market today. They're falling off the vine, but they're really
Mm.
sweet and beautiful. So you can see those.
Mm.
And then I'm
Lovely.
going to put, so I'm going to do this first. I'm sauteing. We have lacinato kale. Look at that. Isn't this beautiful?
Lachinato kale?
Lacinato.
What
We
what
call it
what is that?
dinosaur kale. I don't know why, but it
Ooh.
gets really tall and big, and we've been getting it. You can see where the cabbage moths like it too. So we're
Mm.
feeding outside, and we're feeding us. So all the
A circle of
insects,
life.
right? And so this is from the garden today. So I just washed it and rinsed it, and so I'm going to get that started here. In the pan, I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil. So I have my Sicilian from Trader Joe's. I like this one. I know you have your
Yep.
favorite ones. So I'm going to put
Yep.
probably about
Yep. So you're
two
gonna
tablespoons
two
in here.
tablespoons. You're gonna saute those onions
Yeah, I'm just going to put those in first. The Vidalias, and look how big they are. Aren't those beautiful? I like to do the rings so you can they're bigger when you eat them. So I'm going to put those in and
and
about, medium
while you
into
do that,
medium.
let me tell the people about our little about masterminds and why we're meeting every week here and holding each other accountable to cook some incredible meals. We were lucky enough to be put in a mastermind, which is a gathering of two or more people whose mission is to work on a common goal in the spirit of harmony. It's meeting together with like-minded people, trying to accomplish little steps of a big goal. Look at these beautiful tomatoes over there.
They're
Uh,
rolling everywhere.
so you're just sautéing those onions and the tomatoes in there, and then when they're all gorgeous, let's take a look at those. Look at those colors. Okay,
Yeah.
love it.
And I'm going to let that cook down a little bit, and then I'm going to add the kale. So
Okay, okay, there you go. And then you're gonna wilt the kale a little bit, and then it's gonna make a nice little base. And then, well, I'm curious because I've actually, I don't cook too much fish, so I'm curious how you're gonna use the parchment paper and everything of that nature. But back on our topic of letting go, such a big topic. I mean, the whole movie Frozen is based on, or I know that I haven't seen the cartoon, but all I hear is letting go, let it go, let it go. But
right,
it's
good.
I mean, the cartoons sometimes have some of the biggest lessons in there, right? Or those little kind of things that ring true. But it's that I think this is particularly big when it comes to a lot of things. Yes, emotions and problems and the day-to-day things, but also, for me personally, I found letting go of tasks and projects that I was really married to, and I didn't want it done a certain way, and this certain thing here, and it's kind of like, oh my God, I was putting so much weight and resistance by not letting go of being in charge of that task, giving it to somebody else, letting them do their own different way, and having that other learning opportunity, right? And I'm
Right.
glad we get to talk about it today because I think we all like hold on to a bunch of stuff. It's difficult not to because if something offends you or something takes you the wrong way, you make a little miso paste there, yeah.
Yes. I put a little
Oh,
sesame oil, 2 tablespoons, and then 1 big tablespoon of the miso. So I'm mixing that up right now, and it's going to make a
yeah.
beautiful little paste. I don't know if you can see that.
I
Oops,
can
it's
see
getting on
this.
my computer. Oops.
There's
So
There's something
it's
about
okay.
sesame oil when you were trying to describe it, like it's like what is it? Is it a butteriness? Is it a smokiness? Like tahini, sesame oil. There's something about the sesame that just
Right.
and food. It adds an element of Like I feel that if I add tahini to anything, it'll be better. It's like
Yes.
butter. It's like a
It's,
certain.
yeah.
Mm, yeah,
Absolutely. And then the miso has a little saltiness to it, so you don't
sure.
need to add any salt. So I just put a little bit of pepper and garlic powder on that.
You,
And
you
you
don't
can, I
sell
don't
the
know if
fish, so you just
it's
okay.
starting to,
Wow.
and so I'm just going to toss these around and turn it down a little bit. And what will happen is what the tomatoes, when they get a little bit hot, they're going to pop. So they'll
Ah,
explode and they'll be beautiful. So I should have brought a lid, but I didn't. But I'll just let these cook down a little bit, and then we'll add the kale to it. So while I'm making this paste, I'll let this sit for a little bit, and I have a little brush. I like these little silicone brushes like this, and so
yeah.
you can use that to brush it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the fish in my pan. I'll move it over here so maybe you guys can see it after. And move the pan here. This is fun. I haven't cooked anything like this for you guys, so I'm really excited. So what I do is I'm going to take it like this, the almost heart, right? And I'm going to put it. I'm right-handed, so I'm just going to put the line part over to the left of the pan, and I'm
Okay.
going to open it. And then I'm just going to take my fork and or the tongs and put the piece of fish here. So I'll show you in a second. I'll put it closest to the line, okay, the fold.
All right.
And then what I'm
Closest to the
going to do
fold.
is, so I don't know if you guys can see that. I put it close to the fold there,
I
okay?
can see that.
Now I'm going to take the sesame and miso paste and use the little silicone brush and brush it on there. And I'll show you what that looks like. So just put a little bit on there, and I kind of slather it. I like a lot of it because it just makes everything taste better. And it also keeps it a little bit tender, and I love that. So now I'll show you what it looks like. I have there's some clumps, but you can kind of see it's getting a little
It looks
shiny.
wonderful, yeah.
Isn't that nice? So I'm going to put some
And I love how you
pepper
don't
on.
have to salt it anymore. You just use the natural
No,
saltiness of the
it's just
miso paste.
right. And then I'm gonna put a
Yeah.
little more garlic powder. So I pretty much don't even use any salt in this. I just put a little on the tomatoes because they can get a little bit, uh, you know, tart. So now I'm going to use a little bit of the dill from the garden. And I'm
Mm,
just
of
going to
course.
lay it, break off some pieces and lay them on there. And then if you like lemon, I love lemon. I sliced a bunch of thin lemons and I'm just going to put like two on each one. And
Lemons and dill and fish, they go, I mean,
dill,
real well
right? But
together.
with the miso. So this is what it's looking like now. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, wonderful.
Right.
Great.
So now the trick is I'm going to cover it up like it's going to bed now, and I'm going to just wrap it. It might be a little bit noisy for a second. And what I'm doing is, I don't know if you can see this. I am just going like that.
That's much better. There we go.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it as I fold like this, and then I'm going to create a little heart shape. So look, half heart.
That's
Isn't
lovely.
that neat?
Okay.
So
That is neat.
now, while we're talking, I'm going to do the same thing for the second one, and we can keep talking about the masterminds and accountability groups while you're
That's
doing that.
right. That's right. Well, and it's amazing. You know, I'm even as I'm working with our team, I'm kind of realizing like we're having a little bunch of little mini masterminds within our actual team working environment because we have interns and with we I don't want to give them too much work, so
Right,
we're kind of jumping off in little groups where we have one-on-one meetings every week, and then you're
right,
able to just kind of have a break down little big goals into little chunks. And it's amazing that every week we have like a theme. So, for example, like this week we're talking about letting it go. It's something that on
right,
Monday, I have a theme for our type of for our environment, for setting a little bit of that culture, for setting a little bit of the mood, for setting a little bit of the vibe. And
nice,
it's great to just be have it's funny how these mastermind we're just like first we're gonna have a cooking show, then we're gonna have a cookbook, and now we're turning into this. Now it's affecting all different aspects of the business, right? But it's
right,
amazing. Like every time I try to define mastermind, I remember after our first episode, I'm like, what's the definition? What's the Napoleon Hill's word? What's the third? But then it's like it really is just two or more people meeting every week that are trying to accomplish some type of goal, and harmony.
right,
That's that special word, right?
right. In
In
spirit of
harmony, in
harmony,
unity,
right,
somewhere
right,
where things are flowing, where like you mentioned before the call today, like what's that what you were saying, Jerry, what's that word for like doing something without effort or doing something with that's like very easy, and it was like that saying we really should have wrote down. I think it's the wow way, or the way of doing nothing, the way of water. That's what it is, the way of
right.
water, like just letting it
Love
flow
that.
downstream and
Flows. Right,
let it flow, right? I mean, that's what this when they're talking about
love
flow,
that.
when they're talking about that stuff, but it's
Mhm.
like that's the thing. Are you doing things that are aligned? Are you even the project or the work that you're doing, are you flowing downwards, or are you micromanaging? Are you working on things that are not from a place of inspiration, or not in things in your strengths, or not things that you should concern with
Right,
yourself with? So it's like, and again, like, are you letting go of those things and letting the universe kind of arrange those things into place because you want more control and you want to get things done?
right.
Let it go.
Let it go. And honestly, I think that, we talked about the waterway is also, the effortless effort, right? Sometimes, we
Yeah,
talked last week about alignment and aligning ourselves to, what our calling, our sort of divine calling is in our life or path. And some of us might have a few, but of different directions and careers and things like that, what we talked about last week. But when you really follow what feels right in your heart, right? And you're living honestly and being honest with yourself and trusting, we talked about that last week, listening to your gut feelings. Then the next aspect is the letting go and trusting that the universe is going to bring us that divine timing, whether it's bringing things to us and making things easier. It's like a path of least resistance, right? So I'm taking a picture while we're doing this.
that's right.
um,
We're taking the clips, we're getting the little micro content, we're reposting it for the people on different platforms. Like, I'm realizing like I'm never gonna because I was getting worried last week about are we gonna run out of food ideas, and I realized like there's no like after grilling some eggplant, combining it with some tomato, I realized like wait a minute, like me and you have a lot of ideas between the Filipino and the Ukrainian culture, like and the Canadian, the American and American culture, like we can cook the world.
We can cook the world, absolutely. And, I'm just so excited because every week, we found, just for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, Jerry and I were in a mastermind and accountability group for over a year. And what we found was a common love for food. And so that's how how BLT Living started, living your best life today and every day. And then, being a part of an accountability group, and our accountability towards each other was a food challenge. So now I have my second one. It's not as pretty a heart as the other one is
Let's take a
because I
look. Let's
think
take a look.
this was a little bit bigger, but I don't even know if I can make it. And it didn't make the heart because it's upside down. So sorry, guys. It's not a heart. Oops. This is what happens when
Lovely.
it's just
There you
you
go.
and me.
Two
So
two halves of a
I'm going to,
circle.
right, exactly. Two halves of the circle. And I'm going to put this in now. I have it normally, I think 350 and for maybe 30 minutes, but I'm going to do 375 and we'll see how it goes. Um,
Okay. Okay.
but if we don't get
Three.
it done by the time the episode's over, I will definitely post it on Instagram.
Well,
Okay.
that's what's so
And so,
cool about what we're doing because, like, I hope you guys are following us on Instagram and also on TikTok because
on
the cooking
Facebook,
doesn't stop after the half an hour. Like just with with
right?
the muffins, we're all different platforms. So, what do you? How's the kale looking over there
Look
with
at
the
this.
tomatoes?
Isn't that
Ooh,
beautiful? They're
that is
starting to pop.
gorgeous.
I don't know if you can see it, but they're going to explode in a minute. And
Okay.
now, while they're getting ready to pop, I'm going to go ahead and put the kale in because when we open the packets, we'll be able to serve it. And hopefully, I don't know if we'll have enough time to get it out of the oven, but if not, I'm just going to break these up like that. And
Yeah,
so it's a
it's
little
putting lettuce
smaller.
into the pan is always something that my girlfriend introduced that to me too, and she's from China, so she that's something they do quite a bit there, and I was like, you're putting lettuce
See,
into the pan. Look at that,
right.
yeah. But it's
And it's
just I never even thought about it. I spent like 3 decades not wilting lettuce, but that's a very interesting kale you got there. I don't think I've ever seen that one or seen it
like,
available for purchase.
gets really tall, like this in the
Yeah, it's
ground.
dinosaur kale, you
And
say? Okay.
it is, and or in the I guess the Italian term for it, our term for it is the dinosaur here, and but then it's lacinato, I think, in Italy. So here's the rest of the dill. I'm just
Lacinato.
going to throw that in there. Isn't that nice?
Okay.
And then I'll put a little bit more pepper in there, and then a little bit more garlic powder. And I'll just kind of share it with you. I have to turn it off so I don't burn myself because I have live heat going here. But look at this.
Oh yeah,
See that?
we
Isn't that
love that.
beautiful?
That is
And I'm
gorgeous.
going to let the tomatoes cook down a little bit, and then I'll be able to toss it. And then, yeah, so that's what we did. Jerry and I started this food accountability challenge towards, for each other. So every week, you and I are accountable to each other. And so, with accountability, we do it in the spirit of fun and the spirit of positivity and the spirit of friendship and love. We want to share, right? We love our food. We
Absolutely.
love sharing with our families, our friends, our loved ones, and with you now. So basically, you can see
Yeah.
we love to cook. And so this week I kept thinking, what am I going to cook? And I just thought, you know what? John gave me a good idea. He said, we love cod. Why don't you do the cod in the parchment paper? Because we have all the things in the garden. So, it's so fun to be able to share what we have in our garden with you all because, oftentimes we don't know what's going to grow if we were in
A hundred
Virginia.
percent.
So
A hundred
sometimes
percent.
things grow, some things are eaten. I walked out there and we have these beautiful tomatoes that are about this big, and half of them are eaten through. So I know it's either a raccoon, a possum, a squirrel, I don't know what, but something is enjoying the red, beautiful red tomatoes. But you know what? We're sharing with everybody, and we're happy that, they're going to enjoy the tomatoes. So
Yeah.
this is where we are now. I am just going to stir it up, and you can see that the kale is starting to cook down a little bit, and then it won't be as poofy and big with the kale. It'll just be beautiful greens in the pan. And I'm just going to let that sort of simmer and cook down now while we're talking. So, do you want to tell us about, accountability groups and how you work with the pods? Like, what is an accountability pod, and how many
Yeah.
people are usually in it?
Absolutely. Well, what's unique when you are in an accountability group, and this is something that you turn me on to, is the fact that there is a third mind that is
Right.
created, right? A third entity, a third being, if we may go a little woo woo. But you know, you when you brought it up, I just remember thinking about like that's exactly what it is in a sense of like there's something that happens when you create this space of meeting every week during the same time.
Right.
There's something that happens when you're running late and you can't accomplish that one accountability goal, but you still show up and say, listen, I wasn't able to get it done. And you got a bunch of people around you saying, hey, it's all love, it's all good. Don't worry about it next time. You know, do give yourself a little bit less. And it empowers you. You want to deliver more. You want to be better next time, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
it's that harmony that arises. That's why the people that make up the group are so important. And we're lucky enough to be having an accountability group right after this call. We have
Yes,
people that we're
exactly.
meeting up with, helping getting things accomplished for ourselves, for them, and it's like it's making us stronger. It's making them faster. And it just,
Right.
when somebody tells me they don't know like what's a mastermind, or they're like, what's an accountability group? It's like, what's an accountability pod? I'm like, brother,
Mhm.
sister, I can tell you, but let me show you.
Exactly. And you're like the expert at the masterminds and accountability groups. And honestly, Jerry, you really know how to share the resources like the Trello board, where we have weekly tasks. We use the ClickUp, which is sort of like a calendar, scheduled calendar of tasks. And it just helps us stay focused and organized on our goals. And we work with baby steps, right? Working one step at a time, and then check off that little step until you get to the next step and the next step and the next step. And then before you know it, with the support of your accountability pod and group, who will eventually become your best friends, because they're providing love and support every single week, you will find that you will accomplish your goals. And
Yeah,
I know that I did with my CD that was years in the making, over 20 years, was finally finished because of Jerry and our other friend Jan. Jerry started a business last year and it's moving and shaking up in Toronto. And so, actually
absolutely.
people businesses, and I'm so proud of you. And I just know, we are, with everyone who's involved with our accountability group and mastermind group, we will succeed and we'll succeed together. And maybe can you tell us, while I stir this here, can you tell us a little bit about Napoleon Hill and the mastermind?
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely. So it's amazing to have this little book, right? Think and Grow Rich. It's a very logical place where the book came from, right? He interviewed a bunch of people that were uber successful, super wealthy. I mean, you spend a decade or two going to the richest people in the world during the time. I mean, this was what in the 1920s, 30s, 40s. Like, I mean, we're going way back here, right? But this was during a time where there was unbelievable wealth and also unbelievable poverty. So he was able to go, and you're reading this book, and it's like it's so strange because it's like how to get a date, or how to make money, or how to retain a
right,
job, and you're like, but the language, right? It's like um, everything when it comes to the people that are in personal development, people that are motivational speakers right now, folks who help athletes and coach people who are doing performance at the highest level. I mean, it all
right,
goes back to the things that Napoleon Hill talked about. And it's not like Napoleon Hill came up with anything new. It was just in the context of wealth and what we know money right now, it made a lot of sense. But I mean, that
yeah,
knowledge of abundance, that knowledge of it goes back to Young, and then before that, it goes down to the Egyptians. So it's like, but with Napoleon Hill specifically, it's like, here's a step by step guide. And at the heart of it was masterminds. But it's like, can you be part of a mastermind with people that can help you get to where you need to go, that can level up there, but also a place that's similar to where you're at? And we
right.
have a bunch of these with our pods. We match you up at a level where is consistent with where you're supposed to be. So you never feel like you're ahead of the game or you're below. You're just kind of right there in the middle.
Right. Oh, I think that's awesome. Thank you. That I couldn't have said it any better than you, Jerry, because you're always so great at sharing that information. And I mean, I feel so blessed and fortunate that I get to work with you every week in doing these masterminds and accountability challenges and accountability pods, because I know that that is one of your true gifts, that you can help support people in that regard. And I feel happy that I get to be a part of your journey doing this as well, and part of BLT Living with you. And
Oh, look at us as the AV as the A team there. No, 100%, and it makes me stronger
oh,
as well.
yeah, sorry, it was freezing. Yeah, the A team, right? I know. And so
There you go.
just excited. And so if any of you are interested in joining our accountability groups and mastermind with us and work towards a large goal or a couple of large goals that you'd like to get completed within 6 months or a year, or maybe it might take a little bit more. Sorry, that's my dog.
Oh, we
He
have
escaped.
I
I have
they,
a beautiful dog. He's big, and he came down. He smells the food.
of course, the fish is getting cooked, of course.
Yeah, the fish is getting cooked, right? And so, yeah, if you anybody is interested in meeting with us and joining us in an accountability sort of consulting meeting, to where we can see if we're a good match to help you accomplish your goals through mastermind meetings and accountability, just DM us. We're on Instagram, and we're on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. We actually share our videos on the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, BLT Living. So I don't know, Jerry, if you want to
Absolutely.
add any more to that. I'm going to check the fish. Hold on, while you maybe can talk a little bit
100%.
more.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, as the fish is getting ready, let me wrap up that our little topic of letting go. I think it's important. Well, actually, I would love to hear your thoughts on letting go because, I think it's important, not only in life, but also in business, just to not get
Yes.
attached to things that are probably just like not real, you know. Um,
Right.
but that's one of the things that we actually that I'm trying to focus on next week. As this week was well, next week on Monday we're going to be just trying to figure out how to not be so like I personally am just attached to certain projects that I have no way of outsourcing to other people.
Right.
But
Right.
then I kind of realized, like, if I want something to grow, you have to not only let go of the project, but also let other people have their own perspective and then have their own leadership on how it should be accomplished. So that's kind of what I'll be
Right.
focusing on this week. I don't know how you're going to be living your best life going for in the next 7 days here.
Well,
Um,
I think that it's so important to trust, and we talked about that last week. Trust, and then also trust in divine timing. But I think letting go is probably the sort of third aspect to that. Sort of a triangle or a trinity of what makes actual sense. Because oftentimes we think we can sort of try to be in control of everything, and we know that we can't do everything by ourselves. We juggle a lot, and sometimes we just need help. But also sometimes if we're in a group, everybody has had different life experiences and different education experiences and different maybe professional experiences, and allowing others to bring their creative minds and intelligence and professional experience or experience, just life experience, to the table truly is going to allow you to have the best of everything, because you're allowing people to be creative, to share, to speak from the heart, to maybe they're sharing from their mistakes. I always think, I don't know if it's Tony Robbins that said this, maybe it's a different person, but I remember him saying, if it's Tony, that look, I'm talking like I know Tony Robbins, but I remember reading.
our friend Tony,
Yeah, it does, Tony. That he used to say
Anthony.
that exactly, there are no failures, but you learn from those failures, and every what you might feel as a failure truly isn't. It's just maybe something didn't work the way you expected it to. So what are we going to do? We're going to try something different, and try a different path, or try a different way, right? And like you said, the waterway, just to let things flow, and let your mastermind group or your accountability group help you, and then I think when you trust, you're going to be put in the right place. You're going to follow the right path. The right people will come into your life that are going to help you along the way because you're open. And that's, I think, part of letting go and not being so, controlling everything, because that's just going to make you crazy, I think. And I think we're all guilty of that when we get so busy, but, maybe let other people help. And you're going to learn a lot from others, right? We learn from
Right.
everybody.
Yeah, no, that's true because then you may not be able just to see what the right path is, and when there's other people around you, they're like, listen, like the water's just flowing like up and down, and like why are you just putting these blockages here? Like it's and sometimes you
Right.
just can't see it because it's like you're in it, and when you're in it, you
Right.
can't have a 30,000 foot view. That's why it's
Right.
so helpful to have other people that are working on their own goals that are also in the weeds of their own projects that can
Right.
see what's maybe the right option is here. And I think we're almost I think we're at the end of our episode here. Oh, and Maria's joining us, so it's a
Hi, Maria.
perfect time to
Yes.
end off here and continue the
Yes.
conversation off the
Hi,
stream.
Maria.
Hello.
Welcome. And we'll
Okay,
say
we'll
goodbye
see.
to everybody and say thank you
Goodbye.
for joining us on BLT Living episode 10 and letting go. And we'll post this video on our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube channels and pages. And we hope that you'll join us next week. And we hope that you'll live your best life today and every day. And Jerry,
Woo!
any
I love it.
last?
No, you said it best. You said it best, sister. Wonderful. Have an amazing day, a greater weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next Friday.
There's
For
a
oh, look at that.
potato
Oh,
go on
oh.
top of cod, or with our cod that's coming out of the oven.
Okay,
So,
amazing. Next Friday, I'm cooking something tasty. See you all next week. Bye.
okay, take care. Bye.